I think I'm just becoming the poor man's Macara Tours. Hello, lovelies. Guys, I bought a microphone. I feel really awkward with this. Not gonna lie. Anyways, I need to stop talking with my hands. Hopefully this microphone works because I am not retaping this. I'm not kidding, I have two adapters on here. The microphone is an old headphone jack, so I have to have a headphone jack to lightning adapter, and then a lightning to USB-C adapter. Anyways, you've probably seen her. I almost just put my hand in a bunch of pins. This is a Hollister dress that I thrifted, and I love the color. It kind of reminded me of this like old Hollywood type thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know, fashion history, and I can't even tell you what this is. It's a size small, but all of the elastic is fully stretched out. There is nothing left. That's why I have to pin it up because it would not stay on the dress form. So I have kind of an idea here. Ta-da! My hope here is to kind of turn this into something akin to a vintage playsuit. But I get vintage vibes from this. As many of you know, I often go into a project with like an idea, a sketch, for instance, also added on top of it, but more with just a hope and a dream. The plan is, I'm probably going to change it later. This is where I insert future me looking at this video and going, haha, I knew it. In some order, chop off the sleeves, might make them puffed sleeves. I have some sleeve elastic from the dress that I am wearing to Disneyland Paris, so I might salvage that elastic and use it. I have also looked at some reference images, and I don't see too many puffed sleeves that aren't like voluminous, and this wouldn't give me much volume because of the way it's made. So I might go with just straight sleeves with a nice little fold in them. There is this keyhole opening in the fabric right here, and I want to close it up. And then I'm going to try something that I have never done before. Zip ties as boning. I'm also leaving for Paris in less than a week. I just kind of want to do this for the next 3 or 4 days until I leave. This is not meant to be historically accurate. I know I yap endlessly about, that's not historically accurate, that's not correct corset lacing, that's not da-da-da-da-da. However, I'm an 18-year-old girl going to college in 3 months, and I have a limited fabric and time and resources. I'm just going to make do, and I'm going to feel pretty in it. I don't really know particularly what the first step's going to be. Probably fitting it. I haven't tried this on in a while. Going to see where things fit. Interesting part about this dress is that the back has this ruching, and this is the only elastic that's not fully like blown out. I'm definitely gonna have to still take it in because it is way too big. I'm not gonna do it at the sides. We know how I feel about that. I hate sleeves. So I'm probably gonna take it in the middle, do some fitting. I would not like to deconstruct if I can. That's usually my general thought process, is if I can keep it intact when it has been factory sewn together, I'd like to keep it that way. I hope my phone works, please. Are we maybe starting to see the vision here? I pinned the alterations in the sides because this is where I want this middle section to be altered. So I might take it in down here and make it almost like how, if any of you have seen my tailor jacket before, how I have the pleats going from that top seam down to the waist so that it still keeps the waist snatched, but the sleeves don't move at all. The sleeves are literally just bunched up in there. I do think that I want to do little folds in the sleeves. Obviously, I'm not going for fully vintage. There is a level of practicality that I can't do. I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to chop them off a little longer, give it maybe 2-3 extra inches there so that I have seam allowance for either whether I make it a fold or if I go all in on elastic. I'm going to do fitting number 2 with these alterations. I don't think it's going to be not even nearly close to the level of difficult, not even just difficult, but confusing that the Mary Poppins dress was. Gotta fix my lip combo. Woo. Good day, everyone. Are we calling it day 2? I fell asleep in between, but I only worked on this for like 45 minutes last night. Right under here, I have these angular seams. I took this in at the waistband right here, and I'm going to extend this all the way up, so it's going to make a little pleat. I like the top. I think it's good. I'm still going to add boning in here, obviously, because I want a little bit of structure. Haha, I knew it. Sleeves. back to what I was saying. Back alterations, number 1. Number 2, getting some semblance of order in these sleeves. I figured out how I want this neckline to sit, so I tied it and I double knotted it here so that I knew exactly where I wanted this to fit. With all of that said, I guess it's go time. So I started unpinning the back, starting hand stitching those angular seams that I love so much. I had to take it off my mannequin because it stopped fitting. I have thought about maybe adding some sort of belt or bow that can cinch in the waist but still give me that space for movement. Here was my boning mock-up. I currently have it with masking tape. I have a little update. I hated the boning. I hated it. It just looked bad. And I think it's because the lining layer and the outer layer just don't line up. This top layer was bubbling and pooling. The back of this dress is elastic. So whenever I try and pull it taut to me, it's just gonna keep stretching. If I come across a way to make this bodice look nicer, I will. But so far, I don't see another way to do that. I ripped the sleeve open and this is the elastic in it. Oh my gosh, it's like shedding. That's crazy. It's so bad. Update time. So, I ripped out all of the elastic from the sleeves, replaced them with new fresh elastic, and you were supposed to see that. However, my camera storage was full. So I finished all of that whole process, that 2-hour process of ripping out the elastic and replacing it without knowing that my camera storage was full. Yay! I did cut off a good chunk of the sleeves. I don't know if a puff sleeve is what I'm looking for with this, but it might be what visually fits this dress best. I had an epiphany as I was struggling with boning that basically, if I try hard enough, because the nature of elastic will never let boning particularly work too well, that instead, get out of my way, I would like to attach a ribbon just as wide as this piece right here so that I can pull it taut around my waist. I'm going to have to find another way to get this fabric to pull without pulling the elastic, which means I can only attach something and add tension on this seam and no farther back. I knew these guys were going to be important later. These sleeves, you know what I'm going to do? Attach them right there. And, well, yeah, you get the idea. Then I use that to tie around the back. This is why I throw nothing away ever. All right, here's the gist. Dress here. I got these. They're pinned in the back. I hemmed these. These are part of the sleeves that I cut into rectangles. Got them hemmed. I attach them so that they will then pull back. Probably going to hand stitch those on. It's going to be the easiest way to do that. So I guess I'll get to hand stitching. And that's that part done. So, the sleeves right now are a work in progress. I just have them pinned right now. I think I'm going to end up doing cuffs instead of making them puffed sleeve. I really think the cuffs are cute. Obviously, they're not done very well right now because I have not tried. The sleeves are a little off kilter, but so is my spine. So what am I going to expect? This looks so much better. I can tell now. You can see my ribs poking through it because I have the widest rib cage on planet Earth. But yeah, here's where we are now. I think we're doing pretty well. Day 3, 2.5, 2 whole days and a couple nights ago. I filmed out of order. I was supposed to do the update before I pressed the sleeves, but I pressed the sleeves. I am lazy, so instead of hemming them, I just pinned the inside corners up. Maybe I'll sew them at some point if I really feel like it. But I also leave for Paris in 3 days. So I'm not going to try and do any more sewing projects if I don't have to. I think she's ready to be tried on, but I don't hate it yet. I found something in my closet. Bob. Keeping it child-friendly here. I bought this for when I played Lucy in our Charlie Brown musical in 8th grade 4 years ago. I have yet to do anything with it, and I've wanted to learn how to do pin curls for a really, really long time, but my hair is too long for it. So, to go along with this dress, I'm going to try and style the wig. If you don't see it in the final cut, it's because I couldn't get it to work. Commence! So I started brushing out the wig to get some of those knots out, and I realized that the hair was way too short to actually do pin curls on. So I ended up just styling the bangs and making do, and I just kind of gave up. Alrighty, it's recap time. I think it's pretty good. Bar the fact that my ribs literally stick out and ta-da, bones. Other than that, this dress looks so nice. I really end up liking it. The cuffs could be better. I know that. The neckline could be better. I also know that. But I wasn't going for full historical accuracy. That would have been crazy. I would have had to remake a dress from scratch with this fabric, which was not going to happen, especially because of how little of this fabric there was. But with what I have, I feel like I did pretty well. I did end up making these elastic rather than just a regular sleeve as one of those dresses from the era would be, for my own ease. Same with the back. I currently have the ribbons tied with a hair tie because I haven't made a cute clasp yet. I might do that later. Overall, I think this is super cute. Right now I do, full transparency, I do have one skirt underneath. My other petticoats were way too long, but I think it was a really cute, fun project. Took under 3 days, just a fun little thing to get another piece of fabric out of these guys. I have still 2, you can't see, whole drawers of fabric, plus multiple bags on the floor of my closet. So I have plenty of materials to make some really, really fun stuff with. So if you have any ideas, please comment them down below. You can also check out my TikTok. I have a few videos up of all of the pieces that I still need to use up in my closet to help me use the summer before I go to college to really hone in on not just my sewing skills, but like my mending skills as well. I still don't know how to do buttonholes or zippers, and those are things that I feel like I'm gonna need to know in the future. So I'm excited to see what comes next. Comment your ideas if you have any. I'm totally open, and I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! Insert me putting examples on the screen for you. I'm not lazy. I'm just resourceful. ASMR. What? I'm not against anything. At least you're not the Mary Poppins dress. If I feel like I'm maybe along with and the ever-growing need to look more and more like my father every day. Woo.